my YouTube friends. Good evening. Good evening to all. It's we had just literally after I pushed the button to start everything off, Monica had a panic with a little technical difficulty going on in her area. So I'm kind of watching that up here and giggling to myself. But this stuff happens. Live streams never go perfect. They just don't. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. I know I am. We've got Santa Claus in the house, Dr. Rob Allen in the house, Clem the Sim, Chance Hoffman's in the house. We've got Pima Aaron Space I saw here earlier. Bigfoot Shaber in the house, Mega Squad Trevor. What's going on? It is good to see everybody here tonight. I'm looking forward to this one. We're going to just do the thing and answer your live streaming questions because that's what we do. So, you know the drill. Let us know where you're from because Monica and I always like to see what an amazing audience we have and where everybody's from. So let's go talk to the beautiful, stunning Monica. What's up, honey?
Hey, honey.
Emergency avoided?
Emergency has been corrected.
Well,
All
that's
good.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all good.
I have no idea where Michael's at, so we're just going to roll without it. And hopefully he pops in here at some point because,
Yes.
it is what it is. But we've
I
got
think
folks from Florida, New Jersey, France, California, Maryland, London, the Bronx, New York, Minnesota, Myrtle Beach. We love me some Myrtle Beach, right, honey?
Oh yeah. I love it down in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
France. We got France,
France,
Minnesota.
Sarasota, South Africa, Springfield, Illinois, or Illinois, depending upon how you say it, North Carolina, Sacramento. Man, so many places from all over the
Holland,
world. Holland, very
Chicago,
nice.
Indiana.
Malaysia, Arizona. You know it,
Wow.
baby.
Wow. You know what I would like? I would like if we could get a map of some kind, and as people pop these in there, you get these little pins popping up all over the map to see where
That,
people are. I think that would be
that
pretty
would
cool.
be that would be awesome. We've
That
got
would be
someone from Ethiopia,
wow.
Canada. Man, that is
Texas,
awesome.
Nigeria.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. That is incredible. That is
Wow.
incredible. So, for those of you who don't know, let's kick it right off with getting the question form opened. Then we can take care of all the other fun festivities.
Festivities. Okay.
Yes, festivities.
Festivities.
There we go. So,
Yeah.
in order to get your questions answered, all you have to do is click the link that Dr. Rob just dropped in the chat and go and ask your question. We will answer 100% of all your questions this evening as long as you answer them in the form or ask them in the form.
Right.
Really, really simple stuff. And of course, there is just no way that we can possibly have an epic stream unless we make sure that everyone has their virtual popcorn
Mm-hmm.
so that we can do the needful and go ahead and embiggen that bag. Just make it as big as possible. So now your virtual popcorn is completely embiggened and everybody has some. So we're all set. We're ready to rock.
That's right.
This is, yeah.
We are ready to go.
Oh, how was your day, honey?
It was good. It was good. It was a little busy, but it was good. I actually had to leave the house today and go and go do some stuff. So
You
um,
survived, though.
I survived. I survived. It was a gorgeous day here anyway, but it was a beautiful day. So had to work a little bit later this evening, but you make up for that. So it was good.
Oh, man. Well, I worked a little bit. So I wanted to ask everybody what their thought was. How are you guys liking the new format, the new show? Now I just want you guys all to know that the old show is not disappearing. You're still gonna get your regular Monday video, your regular Friday video, and of course, the live stream every Wednesday. But on Sundays, I'm going to be releasing my new show, and it's called Streaming on the Edge or Stream on the Edge. And out of that new show, there's bunches of segments that we're going to release individually throughout the week, and lots of different types of stuff, which I think is pretty exciting because a lot of people want to see me do some, simple editing tutorials. Well, they're going to be there. I get a lot of questions about YouTube growth and being a YouTuber. There are going to be segments on there for that. We're also going to be having a segment on this Sunday's show that's going to hopefully start to demystify the analytics in small little bite-sized chunks so that you guys can be able to look at your analytics and understand what you're looking at and understand how it can help you grow your channel. And I'm really looking forward to that. So I have to fix my camera here, so you're going to have to carry the show for a second, Pumpkin, because of course it's not working right, just like the usual thing that happens every week. So,
Okay. Okay.
so
Well,
there you go.
can you hear me while you're fixing your camera?
I can.
You
I can
can.
still
I
hear
don't
you.
know if you're seeing
And
the
you
chat
can
here,
still hear
though.
me,
I can,
but and the audience can still hear me.
right?
There we go. We're back. And hopefully, if we're lucky, there we go. Yeah. We're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you were waiting for me. Here I am.
I wasn't expecting you to come back.
What do you mean? I don't understand. What are you trying to say?
Nothing.
See, I always make the ladies speechless, huh?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. You do.
Hey, it's the logician. What's up? The eye roll says it all.
Says it all.
Oh, well. Fine
Here's
then, man.
Don't
Just
use
roll
your
with it
words.
like this, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Like a good
dude.
shaggy puppy that way.
Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is. Do we how are the questions looking like on the form?
The questions are coming in. We've got 12 questions already.
Oh,
But
wow.
you asked your question in the chat about how people are liking your stream, and I did see that they're saying they love it. They love it. They saw it. They like it. It's great. So I think you have a winner. I
That's
liked
awesome.
it too. I watched it too, and I think he did a really nice job with it. It's like a news format, but it's entertaining. So
Well, I can tell you it's gonna be tough to put together that much content on a weekly basis. But I really enjoy the format. I think it's fun. I think it has a lot of opportunity there. And there's a lot of ways that you guys can help steer the type of content or the type of segments that you'd like to see on the show. Eventually, I started a show like this with the intention of inevitably bringing on some other people to do different segments of the show, to maybe give some newer YouTubers who understand live streaming an opportunity to appear and that sort of stuff. So I'm kind of looking forward to the opportunity that this show can bring. And of course, you're still going to get the usual Monday videos, the usual Friday videos, and the live stream on Wednesday night, which I'm excited about. And at some point, it would be kind of nice to put that show together live. I would really like to be able to do that, but for now, we're just going to be thankful if we can pull it off every week, because it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work, right, hon?
I know you're busy. He goes up to his office and he's just working. He goes and so we connect at dinner time sometimes.
Sometimes, mostly our evenings consist of, maybe meeting up near the couch somewhere at like 10 o'clock and watching a show. And, tonight the Phillies are playing, which is nice. There actually is no Josh Gates tonight, which is kind of disappointing. But the Phillies are playing. And then Thursday, of course, well, that's football. Mondays, that's football. So, our evenings are usually taken up by football, and then half of our weekends. So, there you have it. Let's get to the questions, because it sounds like we've got a heck of a collection of questions.
Yes, we are starting out already with 16.
All
So
right.
we're going to have to, we'll get to them. We're going to get to them, guys. Here we go. Okay. Our first question is from Maddie Devine.
Hello, Maddie.
Can you explain keyframe interval? I was told to use key int equals 60.
Yeah, the keyframe interval you can find for the platform that you're trying to stream to. Let's go over here. And I don't want to really, there's no point in me trying to explain what it actually means, but I'll show you how you can find out what it should be for the platform you're trying to stream to. So we'll go over here and let's just type in YouTube Live streaming settings, and here it is. Choose your encoder, and if we go down here, you can see right here it's going to be listed somewhere. Keyframe settings right here recommends 2. Do not exceed 4. So there you go. It tells you all you need to know. You can do a search for Twitch. It'll tell you the same thing. Basically, everyone that I've ever seen says 2. So I don't know where you got your information, but for me, that's 2 is what it's supposed to be. That's what they all tell you on their optimal settings site. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. Let's get another question.
We have a next question is from Dan Gleeballs Scambaiter. He says, "Hello, sir. I follow you religiously for everything. I have a question.
Whoops,
My
sorry.
camera.
Go ahead. Start again.
Uh-oh.
I had
why?
you
What
because
happened?
I had you I had you minimized there for a second. I was adding Michael and he finally
Oh,
swung in.
okay.
So go
Okay,
ahead.
good. Okay, this it says, I have a question. My camera on OBS with settings is using around 50 to 70% CPU. How best can I tweak this to reduce it to use less? It's a Logitech C165. Should I invest in a more expensive camera?"
Well, honestly, it's not the camera that's taking up the CPU. It is the encoding. So no matter what camera you put on there, if it's going to take up 60 to 70%, that's what it's going to take. Now, if you are setting up your stream in 4K, you can always modify that down so that your resolution is lower. Absolutely. Chance Hoffman hit the nail on the head right there. So let me show you what I'm talking about real quick. When you go into your settings and you go into your video, these should not be any higher than 1920 by 1080. And I mean both of them, the base canvas resolution and the output scaled resolution. And you, if you can, in the software of the camera, lower it down to 1920 by 1080. There isn't any point in using anything larger than that. When you go into your output, you want to make sure that you do not have rescale output set in here. You just want to leave it alone. Don't make it do any more processing. And the reason, more than likely, that you are having that kind of CPU usage is because you're probably using X264. If you have an NVIDIA card, it will pretty much use no CPU. So it's all a product of what you are using or the equipment that you're using to do the encoding. But outside of being able to use an NVIDIA card, you want to optimize your settings as much as possible, which means that everything should be in your native streaming resolution, including your base canvas and your output canvas, and lower it to 30 frames per second and see how that does for you. See if that optimizes all of your stuff. Hopefully that will help for sure. I also did a video on optimizing your stream. If Dr. Rob can find that, I would appreciate it. The video is actually called Optimize Your Stream. And let's get another question. Hey, babe.
Hey. Okay. Zen Gaming, it has the next question.
Hello, Zen Gaming.
What is the best way to grow your gaming channel?
All right. So I guess at the end of the day, this is a question. All right. It's pretty simple. And if you watch some of my growth videos, you already know the answer. But the best way to grow your gaming channel is to create bespoke recorded content. If you're already streaming for 2 or 3 hours a couple of times a week, the best thing you can do is cut those streams up, create a narrative, and release those videos so that YouTube can share those videos out to a wider audience. They can draw people into your channel, and you can expand your audience based on the fact that YouTube will actually share out edited, recorded content at a much higher rate than they will share out your live stream. So the best way to grow your gaming channel is to create narrative-driven YouTube videos. And I just did a video on this. I don't think it's actually released yet. It's coming out soon, that talks a little bit about this. I understand that a lot of gamers got into gaming because they just think they want to stream games for 5 hours a night and go to bed. That might have worked in the past when there wasn't millions of people competing for the same space. But if you really want to get noticed, the best way to do it is to create content that has a narrative surrounding it. And that means you're going to have to figure out how to edit. You're going to have to learn how to do that stuff. And that's what one of the main reasons why I created Stream on the Edge. It's so that I can have a segment where I help new streamers learn how to edit. I have a segment in there where I help new YouTubers and new content creators understand how to set up their YouTube channel properly and all that kind of stuff. So definitely check out some of the Stream on the Edge, or if you don't have time to watch the whole show, check out some of those segments, like Edit Your Stream or YouTube Elevated. Those are the ones that are going to help you, that are outside of the streaming realm, to learn how to grow your channel. And by the way, the software that I'm helping to teach editing in is all free, so you don't have to pay anything to get it. Really, just editing up your streams takes a couple extra hours a week, and it is the best way to grow your gaming channel. So I know that's not what a lot of people want to hear, but it's still the truth. I can't change the hard facts. All right, babe, what you got?
Okay. Next question is from Barney Jack.
Hello, Barney Jack.
Will an older 13 megapixel DSLR camera be better for my live stream than my Logitech C922X? I can get it free.
All right, well, this is a good question. It really depends. Does the older DSLR camera have some sort of HDMI output that can input into a capture card or something like that? Because chances are any physical camera with an actual changeable lens is going to give you a better picture quality. I mean, the difference is pretty obvious. You can see the image quality here, and then if we go over here, you can see the difference in image quality there. Monica is using a webcam essentially, and you can see that even with professional lighting and everything else, it's still much more difficult to light Monica than it is for me to get lit. Yeah, that didn't come out exactly the way I wanted it to, but if we look over here, this is my professional camera. This is a webcam. Exact same lighting. You can see how bright and washed out I am. So at the end of the day, it's so much easier, and you're going to get a much more professional look to it if you can manage to get a DSLR with an interchangeable lens and get all the stuff set up properly. So it's always worth the effort if you can do it. But like I said, you're going to need a capture card, and you're going to need to make sure that the camera has some sort of HDMI out so that you can put it into that capture card. So just keep those two things in mind. What? Good. Yeah, that's what mine is. That's what I'm using. And that goes into my, I am currently using this, my Camlink Pro, so I can record stuff in HD. But for the longest time, in fact, up until about a week ago, I was just using this right here. This is the Camlink Pro. And this actually only does 1080. That was more than fine. So basically the mini HDMI goes into the regular HDMI that's right here on the end, and it plugs into USB, And I used this for almost 3 years. So yeah, you just need a capture card to go with it. Other than that, there you go. Chance, you like the new HD? I've been recording it physically on the camera a lot more too, instead of using OBS. So there you go. All right, what you got?
All right. Next question is from Haji Sheik.
Well, hello, Haji.
How can I get my DSLR camera to stay on? It turns off every 20 to 30 minutes.
All right. Well, I don't necessarily know the specifics of your DSLR camera. I could tell you that if you hit the recording button, it will definitely stay on for the entirety of the show. But then you have a situation where obviously most cameras don't have a card that will record for a 2 or 3 hour show. So there may be a setting, and you'll have to do a search online for your specific camera to see if there's a setting that will physically turn that off so your camera will stay on. Because I don't specifically know. I know I've used cameras in the past where it would just time out or go to sleep after a certain period of time if I wasn't recording or shooting something. In which case, you have to hit the record button in order to do something like this, which is a huge pain in the butt. But generally speaking, there is some sort of a setting or something where you can disable the go to sleep portion so it will stay up. So there you go. Hopefully, yeah, sleep mode or an eco mode is generally what you're looking for in the settings. If you turn that off, it should stay on. So hopefully that helps you to find the solution to your problem. Let's get another question. And I don't mean we're whipping. Don't clip that out and say, "Hey, Michael Fire Jr. whips puppies."
Yeah,
it's not what we're saying. Puppies is a word that we're using to as a replacement for questions. So when I say we're whipping through these puppies, it means we're whipping through these questions. I just don't want there to be many. I don't want to show up on Twitter with somebody saying Michael Fire Jr. whips puppies. Yep, that's how they get you.
I know. You gotta watch what you say. We're whipping through these questions.
I know exactly what you mean, man. Hey, there's our bots. Our bots are in the house.
There they are.
Yeah. You know, it's funny how they manage to show up every week. It's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. It's unfortunate that they show up every week.
Yeah. Well, you know, it just means that YouTube is suggesting out our live stream enough that it's aggravated the bots. So there you go. We've got 101 concurrent viewers right now, and we only have 49 thumbs up. That is a lot of broken thumbs. If all those folks would just hit those thumbs up, we could really get pretty close to the thumbs up record for the stream. You never know.
You never know.
Oh well, the 101 probably was about 40 just bots. So there, that was probably what that was, because it immediately dropped down to 80 pretty quickly. All right, babe, let's get another question.
All right, let's see here. This one comes from Collins Akpelu.
Well, hello, Collins.
How can I add a logo on OBS?
I'm not sure what you mean, but let me see if I can kind of show you at least what I think you mean. It's just the same as adding any other image. So we've got OBS right here, and if we wanted to add a logo, let's see. All you have to do is go to Media Source, and we'll just call this logo. And then we'll just browse and see if we can find a logo. It's been a while, so I don't know. Let me see if I have a logo in here. Oh, you know what? I do know where there are some logos, actually. We'll use some of our Stream on the Edge logos. Which one is my favorite one? I'm not totally sure. Actually, I'm not going to use the media capture now that I've did it. We're going to remove that. And we're just going to click the plus, and we're going to go to an image, and we'll call it logo. There we go. And then all we have to do is browse and find our logo. Which one is my favorite? Well, this one is, I really like this one. This one is for the new show that's going to be coming out. And I think let's use the other version, this one right here. There we go. So that's going to give us a clear background, and all we have to do now is resize it and move it where we want it. So let's go ahead and size it down, and we can put that watermark in there. Come on now. Who would have thought that these logos were that big, right? If anybody is wondering, all of the assets and all of the logos and all of the videos that I use as bumpers for the new show were all created using Envato Placeit. There are links in the description if you want to check it out. But there you go. Now we've added a logo to the corner of our screen. So it's just a matter of inputting a image file. Hopefully that helps you out. Let's get another question.
Okay. Next up is a question from Kim Learning.
Well, hello, Kim.
Hi, my question is about annotating in OBS. How to draw on the screen as well as to highlight the cursor with a colored circle. I found a YouTube video where they used a paint program, GIMP, with a window capture for the annotations, but that is a clunky solution.
It is. The best solution that I have for you currently would be Prism Mobile Studio or Prism Studio. I don't have it open right now, but I will show you. I will open it and then show you how it works. So I've done a couple of videos on Prism Live Studio. It is very similar to OBS in a lot of ways. So most of the things that you're using in OBS, you would be able to use just fine in Prism. Let's go over and I will show you here. So this is Prism Live Studio, and all I have to do in order to draw on the screen is click this button on the right screen. Click this button right here, and I can select the color that I want to paint. We'll take white. I can select the thickness of our thing and what sort of brush I want to use, and there we go. I can annotate. I can even go over here and draw arrows. I can change the colors so we can draw different kinds of arrows. And if I want to, I can go ahead and just erase any of these bits and pieces as well. And so generally speaking, Prism works just like OBS, but if you use a lot of plugins in your OBS, Prism doesn't really have access to those yet. And that doesn't mean they won't. It is a branch of OBS theoretically, so eventually there could be, and it is open source as well, so there could eventually be people who make plugins for Prism. The reason why they're probably not jumping to do it just yet is because Prism is less efficient than OBS right now, which means that if you have a really big stream or a really complicated stream, well, it might be a little less, it might use a lot more resources on your computer, let's say. So, yeah, that's the problem. I mean, you can also see that it's using 5% of the CPU right here. You know, so some people might have a problem with that, whereas if I open up my OBS that's doing the live streaming right now, and I bring up the stats window right here, you can see that my OBS running my entire stream is only using 2.2% of the CPU. So this, just running that, is using, 3%, whereas my OBS is using more. So there you go. All right. And we need to turn that off. That was causing some problems. Did you guys actually get to see that, or was that... Yeah, see, that's all goofy. I gotta close that out and bring this back over. Huh. So now we are having problems capturing this display. Let's see here. Were you guys able to actually see any of that? Or was that all messed up with that? Oh, you could see it? Alright, so that must have just been a thing that happened. Let's go and see if we can remove this and we'll put it back in here. Yeah, that's very strange. There we go. Well, we fixed that problem, at least. Hopefully you, if you didn't get the chance to see it because it was, because it was weird, try Prism Live Studio if you're looking for an option. And there you go. Let's get another question. The problem is that my Prism Live Studio seems to want to come up automatically using a virtual camera, and that seems to mess that up. So let me see if I can force it to stop doing that. There we go. And then let's go back to the tutorial and see. There we go. So now we can see it. You can go over here. You can draw on the screen. Just in case you guys didn't actually get to see that, you can do arrows on the screen, stuff like that. You can easily delete and remove these like that. You can change the color of your drawings over here. So yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. So try Prism Live Studio. You'll be very happy with it as long as your machine can run it properly. Let's get another question.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, this one, it's from Don Taj 47 or Donta J 47. I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. The question is, how do I set up background removal in Prism?
Okay, well, let me reopen my Prism here. Let me do it quickly. Excuse me. And boom. Let's go over. Yeah, it just keeps automatically putting that stupid Prism Cam on there for unknown reasons. So I have to figure out how to undefault that. But let's go over to our tutorial screen. And what I'm going to do is remove this clock widget here. And I will add a camera. And we're going to add a webcam. Actually, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to add a Prism camera right here. And click OK. And then you're going to add your camera. And you can see I'm using my Camlink Pro, so I can actually use this in multiple locations. And so basically that's cool. That's how I want to use that. I don't need to mess around with anything else. But I can go here and then I can select remove background. And there you go. So it'll remove my background. I can put one of these videos in here or whatever I want to do. Or I can just remove the background like that, and then I can go and click the plus, and I can go to video music, and I can just load a video in here. So we'll go to where is it here? We'll go here, and we'll go here, and we'll go here, and we'll just select one of these. There we go, and we'll loop it and click OK. And we just need to move it below our Prism camera, and there you go. And is the virtual camera perfect? Not even almost. It's actually, you know, it's okay. It works. It'll remove your background if you are shrunk up to a smaller size. So if we did this, you know, most people wouldn't even notice that it's kind of hazy or whatever. But there you go. That's how you do it, and it's pretty easy to remove your background and stuff in Prism Live Studio. I like it, man. Prism Live Studio is a heck of a lot of fun. Let's go get another question.
Okay, this next question is from Pima Air and Space fans.
Hello,
Hey,
Pima Air and Space.
Any way to do a video about how to get sponsors? I've been finding it difficult to find one. I have my niche.
All right, so I do actually have a video coming up that it will be titled how to make a living as a live streamer. And in that video, I talk about how to grow an audience and then how to monetize the audience that you grow. Obviously, you can't get sponsors if you don't have an audience. Now, it doesn't mean you need a big audience, but you need to have an audience. So if you're getting, 25 or 30 people watching your live streams, well, that's an audience. That's enough that you can go to a smaller business who is interested in reaching your audience and pitch to them. And the way that you want to do it is, to determine what your time is worth and then write them a letter or an email and send it to them and say, hey, I have this channel. Here's the demographics of the channel, which means you obviously have to look at your analytics and know the demographics of your channel. Here's the times that I stream. Here's how many views it tends to get. Here is, what I do. If I'm really looking for a sponsor, I really think my audience would be interested in your product. What do you think? Just test the water. If you send that sort of email out to 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 companies that all service people in your niche, one of them is bound to come back and say, hey, I might be interested in something like this or whatever. But I do have a video coming out very soon that will essentially be titled something like, So You Want to Make a Living as a Live Streamer. And that's what that video is all about. So you're definitely going to want to check that out. Hopefully that will help everyone. And it should be coming soon. All right, babe. What you got?
Okay, I have a question. This question is from Bernie Kucharski.
Hello, Bernie.
It's quite long, so I'm just going to read it and then you can answer afterwards. Okay. It says, your videos and tutorials have been extremely valuable, allowing me to provide pretty good quality live streams of my daughter's club swim team.
Oh, sweet. Oh, my gosh. Somebody sits at home and watches that shit? Oh, Jesus.
Hey, we used to do it. Our daughter used to be in a swim club, too, so we totally understand.
Oh, I know. It's a joke. Yeah. The point is, I know. We sat in those meets every weekend for hours and hours and hours. And man, wouldn't it have been sweet, honey, just to be able to throw on a live stream when she was getting ready to swim and check that out. So that is awesome. Because, parents of kids who do soccer or basketball, you just don't get it. You just don't get it. You go there, you watch the game, you leave. Yeah. Swimming? No, man. You're in it for a weekend. Because
your kid is only up every so often. Whereas basketball, your kid's either in it or not. You're waiting to get in or in the game or something. Soccer, the kids are playing. Swimming is a little bit different.
And the game has a finite time limit, man. It does. Swimming never ends. It never ends. We would get to the meets. They'd have Friday night swims. Then they'd have Saturday swims all day long. Then they have finals on Saturday nights. Then they got Sunday swims. And then you got the finals on Sunday. So it's like your life is never yours. So I applaud you for live streaming this stuff so folks can stay home and just say, hey, my kid's coming up in 10 minutes. Your kid texts you, I'll be on in a call. Oh, there you go. That's all I need. Plus, swimming is stupid expensive. Now, my daughter ended up getting a scholarship to Delaware, to the University of Delaware, where she, basically was a professional swimmer for 4 years. So all of that hard work and dedication did pay off. But, man, it would be difficult as a male swimmer because male swimmers generally don't tend to get scholarships unless they are the cream of the crop. But as a female swimmer, there are certainly a lot more scholarship opportunities out there. So, man, it's a tough gig. It's a tough gig. Yeah, the Frugal Streamer says dance competitions are as bad. I would guess that's the same because you got a lot of different troops, and then you got to go up, and then they probably got final. Oh my gosh, it's probably the same. It's probably the same gig. I know. And you know what? Those stupid swimsuits that you see them wear in the Olympics, that's the kind of stuff that you wear in club swimming. Those things are paper thin. I mean paper thin. And they were like $300 a piece, and they're like one-time use. One-time use. It's ridiculous, man. It's crazy.
It's crazy. But it's over.
So,
it's over.
It
So
is. It's over. And hey, good luck, my friend. Let's answer your question.
yes, let's get to the question here. Okay. He says, I'm always looking for ways to improve the quality of my streams thanks to you. Most recently, I'm super excited with the endless possibilities of downstream Keyer. It's been a game changer. I'm currently using a desktop PC with a dedicated NVIDIA GPU that has 3 cameras connected. One is a Samsung 1080p camcorder using HDMI over Ethernet to a video capture card, and the other 2 cameras are cell phones using DroidCam. While this setup works, I'm looking for ways to eliminate dragging my desktop PC to every swim meet and looking at replacing the cell phones with better cameras such as PTZ NDI cameras. Any recommendations? YOLO, laptop, ATM, NDI cameras? Thanks again for all of your great advice, content, and enthusiasm.
All right. Hold on. I'm
You just
coming
get-
back.
And ran away. He's
What?
like, forget
I
it.
did. I did. I just up and ran away. Now I don't know if this individual saw the segment for Epic Gear from my current stream on the Edge, but that is the YOLO Box Pro. You can add 3 HDMI cameras in here, which can be PDC cameras. They could be DSLRs, whatever you want. No need for any adapters or anything. If it does HDMI, you could plug it in here. It just works. This has also, you can put a USB camera in here. You have separate microphone inputs in here. Oh, this thing is incredible. It even has an Ethernet port. This thing can replace a PC. Now, and it even has a scoreboard feature that you can add a scoreboard to the screen. Now, obviously, that's not all that useful for swimming per se, but you can easily put text in here. So if you wanted to put the times up on the screen, or, I mean, generally speaking, I know I've seen swimming broadcasts in the past, you'll have one camera on the scoreboard, maybe one camera that follows the swimmers, and maybe another camera that's a wide shot that just shows the entire pool, something like that. So that would be freaking easy to do on this. And the best part is, you can get wireless cameras or, wireless camera adapters where you could put the cameras anywhere, put the wireless camera adapter in there, plug the other end of the wireless camera adapter into here, and wow. So I did a little bit of an intro to this on the Edge of the streaming on the I did an intro to this on Stream on the Edge, and I'm going to do a full video on it. I just haven't finished it yet, but this could very well be the answer to your question. Now, I don't have an ATEM Mini Pro or anything like that to test to know whether it does the same as this, but I do know that this is specifically designed to put together remote streams. You don't need anything but this. You don't need a computer or any crazy equipment to pack up. You could put this on a tripod, plug stuff into it, and literally control it with your finger. So this is really, really awesome.
He wants to know if it does NDI.
I don't know. If you're asking, can you add guests to this? Yes, you absolutely can. It doesn't use NDI to do it. It has its own proprietary thing. But you send them out a link and you can add guests in here. Just like that. Super simple. I can't wait to do the video on this. I think you guys are going to love it. I don't know what else you would use NDI for. So I'm guessing you're using NDI to add guests or something like that. And if you're looking to add guests, yes, this does it. This it's awesome.
Okay.
And the best part is that thing did not start out with the ability to add guests. That's something they just added. They continue to add feature upon feature upon feature onto that thing. When I first heard about it, It was maybe a year and a half ago, and I'm like, oh, come on, this is not a thing. And then every time I'd read about it, they're like, oh, they added this feature, they added this feature. So finally, I just had to get one to check it out. Man, I'm it's pretty awesome stuff. It's not cheap. I think it's about $1,200 or $1,300. It is not cheap. But then again, if you're gonna lug around a desktop computer, that's probably $1,500 just for the video card in that desktop computer. And if you drop it or whatever, it's gone. You're done.
Well,
So
at a swim meet, it could get wet.
yeah, it could get wet. It could, yeah. This you can get cases for. You can. It also comes with a screen protector. It's a pretty nice piece of kit. It really is. So hopefully that helps you out. I will do a full video on it. I promise. If you're interested in just the introduction to it, it was Epic Gear. It was on the edge of stream. I think I actually released that video today, if I'm not mistaken. Was that the one that came out today? Yeah, so that video came out today. It's the one with the white box that looks like there might be something phallic inside of it. So there you go. Hey, you know what? Don't accuse me of clickbait, that's just the way that the blurry picture came out, okay? Let's get another question.
Okay.
Nobody can accuse me of not being tasteful. They just don't know me.
Oh, they know you.
They know you. That's why they're here.
The logician. I said, excuse me. I know, logician. I am always highbrow. I know. I apologize for
Brings you
sinking
low
below the
places.
highbrowness of the usual thing. And I apologize to Phoebe. And I apologize. You know, it happens. Hey, Sandy, what's up? It's good to see you, my friend. All right, let's get another question.
Okay. I need to know if Captain Gluten Free is in the house. Because his
Captain
question
Gluten Free
says
in
he is
the
on the move and he
house.
might not be online. So I just want to know if he's here before we ask the question.
Well, we can do the question either way, but do you want yeah, there he is. He's here.
All right, cool.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, Captain Gluten Free, here is your question. Okay, he says, love, love, love the new channel and would like you to know I reached out to a sponsor like you suggested. And yes, they would love to sponsor me, but asked to see my content before I post it. Is this a typical practice for content creators?
Okay, so in today's world where people are afraid that you could say anything that would negatively affect their brand, I think it's going to become more common. It's not something I've run into, but if the video that you're doing is basically all about their product, if it's like a demo video or a review video or something, a dedicated video specifically about their product, yes, they will always ask you to see the finished product. For just like 30-second sponsored spots, I've never had anyone ask me to see the video before it came out, but I do have a long record of content being, you know, pretty unspicy for a long time. So, you know, it really depends on what type of content you do. I can absolutely understand why some company would be slightly concerned over a channel that occasionally has videos that they may not agree with. And you can understand why that would be the case too. We live in that world now, unfortunately. But generally speaking, I've not run into that for somebody who's just doing like a 30-second informational sponsor spot. With that being said, if you're not concerned about their thoughts on the video, then why not just toss it to them and let them see it anyways? Because, you know, it's money in your pocket. It's money in your pocket. And at the end of the day, if they don't like the content of the video and they don't want to put their sponsor in that video, say, all right, well, I'll send you the next one and we'll see what happens. You know, eventually you'll gain trust and they will just say, okay, tell us what the video is about. All right, that's cool. Put us in there. And I saw somebody said something here that I wanted to respond to. Oh, Brandon MF was saying that He had another suggestion for like the A10 Mini or something. And no, totally put it out there. He says, not knocking Michael. I'm just saying there's another option. Absolutely, Brandon. And that's what we want to do. I haven't played with everything. I have not messed with the A10 Mini Pro, unfortunately. And there are definitely people in the audience who have experience with other equipment. The Logician is one of them. He's had experience with a lot of this equipment. So you can certainly ask them what the differences might be and that sort of stuff. So please never take my word as gospel. There are also people out there who know a whole heck of a lot of stuff about this stuff, and some of them actually, believe it or not, know more. So yeah, definitely weigh your options. For me, the experience of this YOLO Box Pro has been really, really good, but there are other options out there as well. All right, babe, what do you got?
Okay, question from Chance.
Oh, and by the way, I just wanted to say that's awesome that you went out there and landed a sponsor. That's awesome. And if you don't like it or you don't appreciate it or the sponsor's just not treating you right, well, now you know. There are others. There will always be others. There will always be others. So make sure you just get somebody that you trust, that respects you, that you respect, and you're going to do awesome.
Okay. You ready for your question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. I thought I lost you. Okay, Chance has a question. He says, "Congratulations on the new content on the channel. It's very cool.
Thank you,
And
Chance. I appreciate it.
I see that you light yourself really well and you color balance, color grade the camera so that it doesn't look like you lit up like a Christmas tree. Would you share the color balance and color grade settings you have applied to your camera?"
Wow, you got all blurry there real quick. Did you see that? Probably not.
I can't. Yeah.
You
Well, I
can't
look.
see
Yeah,
yourself.
I'm very blurry. I've been blurry for a while.
All right. Yeah, it's weird. So, uh, what you see right here is the direct result of what's coming off the camera and the lights. There's no color grading, there's no color balance, none of that stuff. This is the image coming out of the coming right through the camera. I don't have a LUT. I don't have any color grading. Um, you know, it's all right from the camera. For those of you who are interested, it's a Sony A6500. I know the A6400s are maybe even a little less expensive than this camera. You can still buy them new. I really love this setup. I absolutely do. The lens is a 35 millimeter kit lens, super cheap, probably maybe 120 bucks, something like that. Which, for those of you who know camera lenses, 120 bucks sounds like a lot of money. Sounds like the cost of a whole freaking webcam and stuff. From a DSLR or a lens perspective, it's really not a lot of money. It might have even been cheaper than that. It might have been like 100 bucks, 90 bucks, 80 bucks. I don't know. I always buy the cheapest stuff. It is what it is. I'm a cheap bastard. So it's a cheap 35 millimeter kit lens. There is no color grading or anything like that. I just have the camera set up right using the right f-stop and all that stuff, and then the professional lighting. And if you look here, you can see the massive difference. Let me bring up my other thing. You can see the massive difference in lighting from the exact same lights that you get off of this camera right here. And that's just because webcam apertures are like super, super tiny, and my DSLR aperture is big. So it allows in more light. It makes me look, well, you know what? This camera, I hate to say it, but this camera makes me look good. What are you going to do? But I also did spend about a week and a half making sure the lights were all right and getting the whole background set up so that there weren't shadows and all that sort of stuff. So that all goes into it, but there's no LUT, there's no color grading, nothing like that. Because, that just makes it more difficult to do the kind of things that I want to do on my stream, because then it has to process all that stuff. And I'd rather an uglier camera image and not put the stress on the computer. All right, babe. Let's
Okay.
get another question. You're all cleared up now.
Nice. Okay, good. Celia Marie is next up. And she says, "My first game in stream, I was able to use window capture in OBS. As I've been downloading more games, I find that when some of these games are not in focus in Windows 11, behind OBS, I can't hear the audio when either doing window capture or game capture. Do you think if I get a second monitor and run these problem games on that and just use OBS on the original monitor, it will work? Thank you so much.
Yes.
Love your vids.
Yes,
Yes?
absolutely. Um, absolutely. So basically, it's really super. I mean, there are just games that don't work in game capture. And if they don't work in game capture, um, you can use window capture. But when you use window capture and that window is not highlighted, you won't get any movement. And the perfect example to that is this little chat thing I've got going on right here. Now, right now, that little chat thingy is all caught up, because I have the window highlighted. But every once in a while, if you're watching this stream long enough, you've seen it, where I'll pull that window up, and then you just see that text scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And that's because it was way behind because the window wasn't highlighted. And that's one of the problems with window capture, like what I do here. If you get a second monitor, you will never have a problem with it. You bring the game up on the second monitor in windowed mode, on the second monitor, of course, and then you will never have that problem. It will just be there. It will be active. You'll be able to pick up the audio. You won't have any of those problems. So, unfortunately, it requires the expense of getting another monitor, but it's going to make your streaming life a lot easier anyways. You're not going to be flipping back and forth between the two screens, and you're going to be able to see your chat better and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that helps you out. Let's get another question.
Okay, next question.
Oh no!
Kitten D has just become a member. Nice. SS Thanatos became a sponsor as well. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Here, take a look. And wow. Streamer Squad members. And of course, SS Force Thanatos is the super supporter. If you guys don't know about the membership program, there are links down below. And there are two different ways that you can help support the channel. One, supports the channel, you can become a super supporter. Haha, knocked my face off. And then you can also become a Streamer Squad member, which gives you access to our Discord server. And it's a fun way that, you can communicate with me. There are lots of really knowledgeable people in there that know what they're doing. So, there you go. If you are interested, check out the full link in the description down below. I love you guys. Thank you so much for renewing your subscription. That's awesome.
All right, babe.
Okay.
Rocking it.
Yeah,
We rocked it. We totally rocked it.
totally rocked it.
What were we talking about before we rocked it? There
I
a
was
question?
just going to ask a question.
Well, let's do it.
Okay. Okay. This question is from Helmi.
Hello, Helmi.
In Prism Live Studio, I got a problem with game capture. It failed to capture the game. That's the question.
Yeah, that happens. It happens in OBS too. You just put the game on another monitor and you capture the monitor, or if you only have one monitor, you do a window capture. That's how they do it in OBS. Sometimes that's how you'll have to do it in Prism. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But hopefully that helps you to figure it out. All right, babe, what you got?
Okay. Next question is from Jay Hero.
Well, hello, Jay.
How to use sound alerts on OBS for YouTube streaming? I can't use Twitch sound alerts, so I'm looking for options.
How do you sound alerts? Well, let's go over into our tutorial here, and I will bring up my screen here. And what I'm going to do is show you the alerts that I use in Stream Elements. We're going to go into our streaming tools and our overlays. And which one was it that I was messing with earlier today? I don't even remember. Was this it? This could be it. No, this isn't it. But we're going to add a widget. We're going to add alerts. We'll add an alert box. All these alerts have audio. we are going to mute this audio so we don't hear it. And what we're going to do, if I do there we go, you can see what these look like. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this out right here. And he's asking about doing it in YouTube. Yep, there isn't anything out there that does it for YouTube yet. You can't use chat commands to create functions like that in YouTube yet. And I will explain to you the reason why that is. And that's weird. Let's go back here for a second. And we have to move this down here. There we go. Now you can actually see that I exist. The reason why you cannot... the reason why that doesn't exist in YouTube just yet is because YouTube does not allow its API to be shared and used freely. So the API over and above a certain limit, you have to pay for. So unless the company's business model has a way to make money so that they can pay for access to the API, they can't write that sort of code. Now that stuff all exists in YouTube's API. It does. But there's no freeware like StreamerBot and stuff like that. They all do that for Twitch. They don't do it for OBS. And the reason why they don't do it they all do it for Twitch, but they don't do it for YouTube. And the reason why they don't do it for YouTube is because it's a free product and YouTube charges for access to its API. So in order to get that sort of thing for YouTube, either YouTube will have to start giving away its API for free, which we all know is never going to happen, or we are going to have to accept awesome tools like StreamerBot and stuff like that to have some sort of a business model where they can make a couple of bucks so that they can afford to get the API license so that we can all get features like that. So always keep in mind that free stuff is great, but without a way to actually make a little bit of money, it's really tough to get the kind of features that we want. So unfortunately, that's the way it is right now. That's why those cool features exist on Twitch and they do not exist on YouTube yet. But they will get there. In fact, I have no doubt that Stream Elements and companies like that will eventually add them. So, yeah. All right. What you got, babe?
Okay. I just happened to catch this chat in the chat. It says Serato Studio. He says, I just wanted to say thank you, Michael.
Uh-oh. Lawless Watson, thank you so much. That's awesome. Wow. We haven't had one of these tonight. And then Monica will get to that. Hopefully she keeps that on the screen so she can find it when we get back. Oh man, I found a really cool music service recently that has free music that you can use on YouTube and stuff. I'm excited. They hit me up. They might sponsor some of the stuff. So I'm really excited about that possibility. I can't wait to be able to talk about it for sure. Not that I don't love this music, and it was really nice to go back to this original music. I really enjoyed it. But some of the stuff that I've heard on this other music service, wow, it's really awesome. Especially if you're into rock, like I am. Because I like to rock, you know what I mean? And I don't mean like this. Thank you so much for the tip, Lawless Watson. I really do appreciate it. You guys are amazing. You humble me every time. Let's go back to Monica. All right, babe. What you got? Yeah, I'm ready.
I just wanted to finish that comment. Serato Studio says, I just wanted to say thank you, Michael, for the great videos. I learned so much from you and gave me the confidence to start my streaming journey to help new music producers with music creating programs.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Man, that's the kind of stuff that I do this for, because then people pass it on and help other people to find things that they want to do, and that's awesome.
That's right. So thank you.
If we can help other teachers reach a larger audience, and entertain them, man, we're doing it right. That's awesome.
Okay, we have a question from Captain Gluten Free again. He
BRS asked if I was going to touch my brain, and he's really assumptive there. He's really assumptive. He thinks there's something actually in there. Empty. All right, go ahead. Sorry, honey.
Okay, Captain Gluten Free. He's asking, can you still suggest a video editor? I am using Clipchamp on PC and ClipCut on my phone. I looked at Corel, Cyber 365, Premiere, and DaVinci Resolve. All free, but extras are kept behind a subscription. It's not looking good for a quality free video editor.
Trust me, DaVinci Resolve is a quality free video editor. There's nothing in the paid version of DaVinci Resolve that a new editor will use. I promise you. It is ridiculously powerful. And don't be sucked in by the Premiere Pro free thing, because it's not. It's, definitely check out DaVinci Resolve. You will, all the tutorials that I do and anything that I edit personally, anything that I edit, including my show and all the videos, could easily be done completely free in DaVinci Resolve. Everything. There is no reason why you'd have to pay for DaVinci Resolve unless you're doing some next level stuff. And most people just aren't. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you.
Okay.
And by the way, someone did mention Filmora. A lot of guys swear by it. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. But DaVinci Resolve is by far the best free editor out there. It's amazing. All right.
Okay. Next question is from Lawless Watson. I have never done a podcast before. However, I am rather familiar with Zoom. I have a friend that is 92 years of age, is a motivational speaker, and has written a lot of poetry. We live in different cities, and we want to do weekly short podcasts to share her wisdom with the world. She has a laptop, and I have a rather proficient AV recording studio. Do you have any suggestions as per software that we, podcast newbies, can use to get started?
Okay, well, so I'm going to assume when you say podcast, and let me go over here. I'm going to assume that when you say podcast, you're talking about just audio. And it's not that you couldn't do something like this in a video format as well. You can. But if somebody could post, I just did a video a couple of weeks ago specifically about podcasting software. It's called Riverside. It's awesome. It's all you could ever hope for. If somebody could go ahead and drop the link in the chat for me, I would appreciate it. Riverside's awesome. It's by far the best software out there that, and if you wanted to record the entire session, which, of course, if you're creating a podcast, you're probably going to record the entire session so that you can remix or add sponsors or add something in there. You can do all that. You can actually take the video from the session and create video content from that as well. It records both vocals for you and any other guest, and then video from you and any other guest that you can remix and reuse in any way that you could possibly want. TechExamine just put the link in there. Definitely check it out. It's the right solution for just about any podcaster. You could also get away probably with using the recording services of something like Restream, StreamYard, or Melon. All three of those have pretty robust recording features at this point. They aren't specifically designed for podcasting and quality like Riverside is. What makes Riverside so amazing is that it physically records on both machines. And then when the session is over, it takes those recordings and uploads them to the internet. So in other words, it's not recording the video coming from the other machine into yours. It's physically recording the highest quality on the machine and then sending those videos to a central server that you can download. So you're getting the highest quality recordings that you could possibly get with Riverside, and that's what makes it unique and different. That's not something that any of the other examples do, like Melon or Restream or StreamYard. They don't do that. They're not recording physically on the local machine and then sending it up. However, they do a pretty good job. So it's kind of a matter of personal preference. If you're looking for the very best, Riverside is pretty awesome. So hopefully that helps you out. Definitely check it out. It is good stuff. All right, babe.
Okay. Mo Berry has the next question.
Well, hello, Mo Berry.
How can I get my stream on Twitch more in sync?
Well, generally speaking, if you're having significant sync problems, it could be that you're using something like Snap Camera. If I use a heavy Snap Camera thing, sometimes my voice and my mouth won't perfectly line up. Hey! Captain M. Lamb, hello. Thank you so much, Captain. Let's see, is there a message included with this puppy? It is just a rock on. Yes. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I totally forgot what that question is, so I'm going to get right back to it in a second. But first, I have to... See, I told you it was empty. There's nothing in there. It does get itchy once in a while, though. Oh, Captain M-Lamb, thank you so much. You rock. Let's go back over here and refresh my memory momentarily about the question, Pumpkin. Okay. Generally speaking, so it could be little. If you're using a face cam like that on Snap Camera, it could get your video and audio out of sync. It is what it is. That happens. If, on the other hand, your video and your audio are totally out of sync, like what you're seeing here, just regular video and audio, 9 times out of 10, that is all due to your machine not being able to encode properly. And usually that means you're encoding on something like X264 instead of having a graphics card like an NVIDIA card or something like that. But you're going to go up into your view and then stats, and you want to take a look at your stats here. And that's not the right stats. We're going to go to the stats for the actual live stream that we're putting on here, and we'll bring those over here like that. And there we go. So you can see during this entire live stream, I have missed 0 frames due to render lag, 0 frames due to encoding lag, and we have missed 0 frames due to network lag. If any one of these things was lagging, then you would get sync problems with your audio. So we're not having that problem. Now I do a couple of things to fight the possibility that that can happen as well. But just so you know, if you're having those problems, go in here and see where your problems are actually happening. Now keep in mind, I haven't missed a single frame this entire stream, and that includes opening applications like Prism and stuff in the background, and it hasn't dropped a single frame, which is pretty ridiculous actually. This machine can be a beast sometimes. But one of the ways that I avoid the possibility that my camera will be out of sync is my microphone is plugged directly into my camera, so I don't have to worry. They both go, the video and the audio go into the same device and get fed through the same line to come into the computer. I don't have a separate microphone and a separate camera coming in on 2 separate lines. They're both on the same line. That makes life a lot easier, and I never run into sync problems. So if you're running into sync problems and you're using higher end camera equipment or something like that, get yourself an XLR microphone and a phantom power and plug that thing into your camera and let that do the syncing process for you, and that can make it a lot easier. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit to at least know how to check and see what's causing your problems. All right, let's get another question.
Okay, Team Western Productions is up next. They said, sorry, they missed the stream. They were sick. How do you install OBS 27 version from OBS 28?
Well, I have the first segment of Stream on the Edge has all that information in there. So if somebody wants to link that, the individual video for that probably comes out tomorrow. So if you just want to wait for the excerpt, the news excerpt from the Stream on the Edge video to come out, that shows you exactly how to go back from OBS 28 to OBS 27. So hopefully that helps you out. Like I said, that video will probably be released either at 8:15 a.m. tomorrow morning or at 8 p.m. tomorrow night, or potentially on Saturday morning as well. I'm not sure. Probably tomorrow, though. So if you want to, you can check that out. What you got, babe?
Okay, I have a question from L. Corbs. I think that's how you pronounce that. He says, hi guys, what's a good entry-level camera? I've been running my gaming channel for 2 months and I'm using a Nexgo? I don't know what that is. It's okay, but I want to step it up. It's Neixgo.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It could just be a brand that you get off Amazon. Eventually, if streaming is the way that you want to go, if it's something that you want to do, then you're going to end up investing in professional camera equipment at some point. So see if you could go out there and find some comparisons on DSLR cameras that you can input into your computer. You're going to need a DSLR, and you're going to need a capture card of some sort, something like this Camlink here. It is an expensive investment, admittedly. This camera that I'm using now, I can find used for around $800 without a lens. And then, of course, you've got the lens purchase. And then you've got the capture card purchase. And then you've got the separate microphone purchase. So it's a bit of an investment. We're probably talking, I don't know, $1,000 investment in a quality DSLR camera setup. But eventually, you're going to get one, because that's how you get this kind of look. So if you're really looking to step it up, that would be a way to go. Now, something like the Elgato Cam, or I believe Logitech just came out with something that's kind of a step up. You could try those, but they're still webcams. The sensors are still tiny. It's basically like a cell phone camera sensor in a webcam. That's fine. You're going to get better quality imagery from it, but you're still going to have the same problems with lighting and consistency of the image. So just keep that in mind. Still use a phone camera over Wi-Fi. See, but the thing is that's the bottom. That's the end result of all the purchases. Is you could spend like $200 or whatever on a good webcam, and you're still probably going to be disappointed with the results. Or you could just take it to its final resting place, get one of these. I've been using this camera now for 3 years, and I don't have any plans to get a new camera. In fact, I haven't bought any new camera or microphone gear in over 3 years, and that's because this stuff works and it looks great. Chances are, you're not going to have that same kind of result with a webcam. So if you're going to step up on the webcam and get a new one every year or whatever, you're going to end up spending $500-600 on webcams trying to get a better image quality when you could have just spent the money up front and got the end result anyways. Because you're going to get there inevitably. Now, I know saying that, people are sitting at home going, that's like $1,000. It's just stupid. And you know, if we're being honest, you're probably right. Unless you're a serious YouTuber, or you plan to do this for a long time or whatever, you're right. It's probably not a great purchase decision. However, if you are actually considering and have the money to continue to upgrade, and this is what you want to do, that's going to be your end result, so you may as well suck it up and do it. If, however, this is a hobby you're doing for fun, then picking up a higher quality webcam like the Elgato Cam Pro or whatever, you can give it a shot. Even something like even something like a GoPro, you might get the kind of results that you're looking for. Yeah, the Jamin Show. 1K is chump change. It is if you keep going. I'm the kind of person who gets to a point where I like the result and I'm done. I'm fine. I don't need the newest. I don't need the latest and greatest. I am perfectly fine. There are those that get into this thing and it becomes an addiction. And that one extra pixel that they saw appeared on the screen, well, you got to fix that. I need the newest thing. So just be a little careful. I'm pretty stingy. I'm not a guy who spends money willy-nilly. But I knew where I wanted to go with my stream, so I just got what I needed. And so if you're that kind of person, there you go. There you go. Dr. Rob, that's exactly right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You were thinking the Elgato, to be honest? Well, give it a shot. You know, the beautiful thing is you can order it through Amazon. You can get it to your house. You can hook it up. You could try to light it properly. And if you don't like it, you send it back. That is the beautiful thing about Amazon. You know? I mean, hell, you could even order an entire DSLR setup. You could get it home. You could get it set up. You could get it lit properly. And then you could say, it's not worth it, and send it back. So there you go. There you go. And there are a lot of people in here who have used the Elgato Facecam, and they all have opinions. So maybe one of those guys might be able to give you a little more information. I do not personally have that exact camera. All right, babe, what you got?
All right, we have 20 questions in queue, and it's almost 8:30.
Well, we're gonna have to close that form down then, I guess, huh? Well, we're gonna struggle to get through our 20 questions.
You tell me.
Well, there we go. We just closed the form down. So,
Okay.
all right. Let's get another one.
And this next question is from Break and Build, saying, regarding lower thirds, I've tried animated lower thirds and just can't get it to cooperate no matter what tutorials I review, including your tutorial. I've currently set up a lower third using the Move plugin for OBS. It works, but I have to use a Stream Deck key press to activate it. Is there any way to automate my lower thirds on a timer so I don't have to worry about hitting it?
Yeah. The easiest way to do it is to just create the lower third image that you want to use, and then create a video. Go into DaVinci Resolve, create a video of it animating in, and then add as long as you want it to be on the screen, and then create a video of it animating out, and then as long as you want it to be off screen, and then save that video out, load it into OBS, put it on loop, and you know what? It's going to come in and out at the exact same interval every time. You don't have to worry about it, and it's not taking up extra CPU running some plugin or anything like that. It's really simple, really small, really easy to run. So that's what all of my stuff like this is. This is not a plugin or anything like that. It's a video that I created, and then I embedded it in my overlay. So if you want to do animations and that sort of stuff with your lower thirds or with anything like that, that's the easiest way to do it. Just create a video, put it on a loop, and you are all set. All right, let's get another question.
Okay.
Yep, save it as a WebM. That's exactly right, Frank or Franz. I have a video on how to optimize those sorts of assets. If you want to check it out, one of my guys can go ahead and put that in there. All right, let's do it.
Question from Tucker Dawson. He says, hey, Michael, would love to know your opinion on what the best setup overlay-wise would be for someone doing music performance live streaming. Or maybe is there a possibility you could do a video on it in the future for it with examples and maybe even showing some design examples for setup on the look of the live stream?
Well, for me, the best thing that you could do is go out there and find other live streams that are doing something similar to what you're doing, and decide what elements you want to include in your overlay, and then, you know, create those sorts of elements in your overlay with your personal color palette. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Don't recreate the wheel. Go out there and find overlay examples for people that are doing something that interests you or have it look in the way you want it to. Try to recreate it badly, because you will. It'll be bad. And then every couple of weeks, go ahead and try to recreate it again, and try to recreate it again, and try to recreate it again until you finally get to the point where you like the result that you're getting, and then use that. That's what we did with this overlay. I am definitely by no stretch of the imagination a graphic design person. I've just been doing it for 3 years to create thumbnails and that sort of stuff. And eventually, even if you're bad, you start to figure it out. You start to get better. And that's the way it happens. That's the way it happens. You start out bad, you keep doing it, and you get better over time. I've done a couple of videos on how to create, well, actually, I did a video on how to create this overlay right here. It's going to give you all of the tools and techniques to be able to recreate this one. And you can use those skills to recreate any overlay that you could possibly find out there. So if you want to check out something like that, you know, somebody can drop that in the stream, in the stream there, and hopefully that will help you out. I believe the video is called Steal My Overlay. Let's get another question. All right, babe.
Okay, this question is from Crash Creeley.
Well, hello,
Crash.
Crash.
How do you get Prism to work with Stream Deck?
All right, well, that's pretty easy. Let's go over here to our tutorial screen. And if you go into Stream Deck, which you can see I have mine open here, if we go into our plugin thing right here, and you just do a search for Prism, and there you go. You just install this plugin into your Stream Deck, and that gives you the ability to add all the Stream Deck commands, or all the Prism commands that you want in your Stream Deck. So there you go. That's how you do it. Let's get another question.
It's that simple. Okay, Professor Mark has a question.
Well, hello, Professor Mark.
Could you use Prism Live Studio with pointer highlighting and on-screen pen by capturing the Prism screen window into OBS?
Maybe. Let me show you what I mean. So let's go to, let's not go there. Let's go over here to tutorial. And let's for the sake of discussion, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a color source here. So let's go with, where is it? Color panel. Okay. And let's select this color, and we're going to make it green. Boom. And okay. And what we're going to do is we're just going to stretch that out there. And I guess I probably should have just made this the right size. 1920 by 1080. There we go. All right. So why is that so small? What's our canvas size? Okay. Let's go to... There we go. All right. So now we've got this, right? And what we can do is we could use something like the Prism Cam, which could mess things up. I don't know. We'll see. We'll activate our Prism Cam, and what we're going to do is we'll go over into our OBS, and we'll go and click the plus. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a source. So we're going to add a video capture device, and this one is going to be the Prism Cam. Boom. So we've got that. We can right click, and we can go to our filters, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and chroma this out. So we're going to go and we're going to chroma key, and boom, that disappears, right? But what makes this awesome is now if we go into Prism and we want to draw on our screen, well, all we have to do is pick a color that's not green, like this one, and boom, or boom. And now when we go over into OBS, there you go. we've drawn on the screen. So theoretically, what you would want to do is obviously have these two on completely different screens. No, that's not what I wanted to do at all. What you'd want to do is have both these on different screens. Where is it? Huh. Well, that's freaking weird. Let's try this. Oh, alright. It's not going to do it. Anyway, if you have these both on completely different screens, then you're going to be able to see them both at the same time. And then you can draw on here, and you can see it on the other screen. So that is the solution that may work for you. And that's pretty cool. And by the way, I just came up with that now. So never count it out that you can't figure out how to do something, guys. All you have to do is be a little bit creative, go out there, try some different stuff, and you could probably figure out how to do all of these cool things on your own. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. There we go. All right. But I love the fact that that you guys trust me to figure this stuff out. I think that's pretty fun. I definitely think that's pretty fun. So let's see. Which one is that? That's this one here. And we're going to remove that. All right. Let's get another question. We are definitely getting late now. All right, babe. What you got?
Okay. I want to revisit this one from Crash that he asked how to get Prism to work with Stream Deck. There was a note in the chat that he says, I can't get my scene to go live. It only goes to edit.
Oh, so he's using he's using what
He's
is
trying
it?
to get
Studio
Prism
mode.
to work with Stream Deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now he says it can't get it, my scene to go live. It only goes to edit.
I don't know. I don't know what is edit. Oh, he's talking about he's doing it in he's doing it in the capture mode, the other mode. So try turning that mode off. See if that works for you. Instead of using an edit mode and which is basically a preview mode and live, just turn that mode off. So you just have the live view, and see if that works for you. All right, go ahead, hon.
Okay. Texas Tint Pro is up next. He says, can I use the new Prism Studio with Restream.io? I saw your video that you posted yesterday and it looks sick. So I kind of want to switch to that. Thanks, bro.
Yes, you can. It will work exactly the same, just like I'm capturing Monica right here in OBS. It will work exactly the same in Prism. In fact, I can show you right now. Let's do that. So we've got our Prism here. I'm going to remove our color panel, and I'm going to add in my camera right here. So we will add a, let's see, I can do this. Webcam, video capture, and okay, and the multi-view, that works just fine. And what I'm going to do is disable that, and we will bring us up here like this. And then what we're going to do is click the plus, and we're going to go to a display capture. If we can find it, it's here somewhere. Monitor capture full. Boom, boom, and we just have to select which one we want to capture, and that's the one. And then all we have to do is crop up that puppy like so, and then we can right click on it and go to filters, click the plus, effect filters, chroma key, boom, close. So now we have essentially exactly the same thing, except for I don't have the background running. But you notice we don't have Monica's audio. So we'll click the plus, and we will go to our audio capture device. We're going to go to audio output capture in this case. And we're just going to capture the audio that I hear, which would be the Zone Wireless Plus. There we go. And go ahead and talk, honey. And there you go. Now we have us both in the stream. The exact same thing I showed is just in Prism instead of in OBS. Let's go ahead and delete that and delete that. Man, we're getting all kinds of Prism questions tonight. I love it. I love it. That means that people enjoyed that video, which I think is awesome. Let's get another question, beautiful.
Okay, do you want to look at the question in the chat from Captain Gluten Free?
I started Patrick Mahomes instead of Herbert and got 58 fantasy points plus a cherry on top. I had a Kelsey. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so you didn't have any problems winning that. I had Eckler and Allen this week, so let's just say between those two, I did okay. I did all right this week. Oh, man. All right, babe, what you got?
Okay, next one from Prophet Odalin. Question is, how do I add the eyeball and the number of viewers watching my stream? I use Restream and OBS.
Use Restream and OBS. Well, it depends how you're capturing it, but I can kind of show you. There are, the thing is there are ways to set this up. There's like tools and stuff to do it, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the easy way. We're just going to pop this over here, and what I'm going to do is pop this over here, and we've got our viewers right here. So you can go out and find yourself a little person icon if you want. It's up to you. It's up to you if you want to find yourself a person icon. But what I would do here is then I'd just click the plus and I'd go to window capture, boom, and then I would click OK. And then what I would do is I would get my little person icon and I would stick it in there, and then I would just do this. I know people hate when I do this, but it's let's not pretend that we have to be pure geniuses here. Okay, there we go. Now we know exactly how many viewers there are on the stream. If you don't want to have it say viewers and you just want an icon there, that's fine. That's fine, you could do that, but this is the easiest way. And what we could do here is we could go to blend mode, right? And we could go to subtract, and there we go. Now we just got the letters instead. If we wanted to, we could put a white background over that or whatever, but we don't have to do that. We could just go with normal, and there it shows up. Super simple, super simple. Keep it simple. That is always the best. You're going to have so many less problems if you keep it simple. Let's get another question.
Okay. Next question is from Earl Olivio. I currently play Apex Legends. This game is not optimized properly. I run dual PC setup, but to minimize desk space, I'd like to run one PC. Is Prism Live too heavy for gaming and streaming? Or OBS is just the way to go? I love the features on Prism Live.
Wow, this is such a good question. I think it's distinctly possible that Prism Live could be too heavy for gaming, depending upon the type of machine you have. But the only way you're going to know is if you test it out. And trust that it will get better. They are definitely working to optimize Prism. So there's that. I would test it out and see. And the thing is Prism Live will work with a 2 PC setup. So there's always that option. It will work with NDI setup. Or you can just get a capture card and go out from one machine through HDMI and into another thing on a capture card, and that will work as well. But I would give it a try. Just try it on the machine and see how it works. Some people... Oh my! Steffi Steffi Game Up. Oh, that's cool. That's an interesting one. Steffi Game Up, thank you so much. They ask, can Prism Live Studio do the instant replay? Well, now that's a really good question. I know Prism Live Studio has the ability to add a delay, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check it real quick. Output mode. Let's go to recording here. And yeah. Well, the thing is instant replay is a thing that's done in OBS using a plugin. And right now that plugin is definitely not available in Prism Live Studio. So as of right now, I would say no, you cannot do instant replay in Prism Live Studio. With that being said, if it's something that you would like to see, all you have to do is ask them. So the music's too loud, is that what Phoebe's saying? It does look like the music's kind of loud. Sorry about that, Phoebe. There you go. It does look like the music's too loud. I turned it down for you, Phoebe. If you go to Prism Live Studio and ask them, they will definitely do what they can. Yes, I'm used to banging that music, Dr. Rob. So there you go. Definitely go to Prism and ask them, and they will add it as soon as they possibly can. They're working really hard, and I'm really pretty excited about how much work they're doing. And what was that final question about Prism, the one before this?
Yes. Apex Legends run dual PCs to minimize desk space, like to run one PC. Is Prism Live too heavy for gaming and streaming?
The only way to know is to really test it, because I don't know exactly what equipment you have and all that sort of stuff. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you might be able to get away with it, because the NVIDIA graphics card does all the encoding, and the computer and the graphics part of the graphics card can take care of all the other stuff. But the only way you're going to know is if you test it. So hopefully you test it and it goes well. If not, you could try a 2 PC setup. If not, it will get better. Prism will continue to get better. So there you go. Yeah, that Dr. Rob, that's probably not going to help him, because that's a plugin that OBS uses. That's not a plugin that you can use on Prism. So the best two options for him would be, if he's going to use a 2 PC setup, they're going to be NDI or the HDMI out, which is pretty cool as well. It's what I use to capture OBS 28 on some of the newer videos that I'm doing, so that I can show different features of OBS 28 without actually having to run it on my main computer. It's on another computer. All right, babe, what you got?
Okay, question from Sir Mixto.
Well, hello, Sir Mixto.
What's your take on GDPR when working with other YouTubers or inviting people from the chat to join the live stream? Can it affect your YouTube video down the line?
See, I saw this. I don't know what GDPR is, so if somebody wants to enlighten me in the chat as to what GDPR is, maybe I can answer this question. But I'm not a super big acronym dude, so I don't know what it is. We can go on to the next question and get back to it if somebody answers what GDPR is.
Okay, this is from Nikos Panatos. He says, hey, Michael, I've lost the link to the video where you did an automation to put all windows or apps to a fixed, predefined position with just a push of a button. Can you just help me out?
Man, repeat the question. I'm trying to recall it myself.
He's looking for the video where you did an automation to pull all windows and apps to a fixed, predefined position with just the push of a button.
So I think I know the video that you're talking about. I actually think Epos Vox did that video. And it was a thing that he set up in Stream Deck, where if you clicked a button, it would set up all of your windows for your live stream at the touch of one button. I'm almost 100% positive that it was Epos Vox that did that video. I've never done one like that. Stream Deck can absolutely do that. Yes. Nutty did one too. So yeah, I haven't done that video. But yeah, either Nutty or Epos Vox have both done videos to that effect. So GDPR equals information privacy legislation. I don't know. If you're talking about, let's see, I don't. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Read the question. Read the GDPR question again, so I can see if I can get the context.
What's your take on GDPR when working with other YouTubers or inviting people from the chat to join the live stream? Can it affect your YouTube video down the line?
Okay. Well, I definitely don't recommend that you invite random people into your live stream from the chat. That's definitely a bad idea. That is asking to get banned, because somebody will come in there and say the dumbest things, something racist, something whatever. You just don't want it. Just don't risk it. Don't invite people into your live stream that you don't know. As far as whether you could risk bringing on a friend or somebody, another YouTuber or something like that into the stream, well, just get their permission. Then you don't have to worry about that other's thing. Or then you don't have to really worry about it. And if you play games, one of the reasons why everyone complains they can't bring like their PlayStation audio or whatever in for the People's Voices, or the Xbox audio for People's Voices, this is exactly why you can't do that. Because those people didn't agree to be on, on your live stream necessarily. So always keep that in mind. It's not that hard to find people who are willing to participate in your live stream. So bring on willing participants. Don't bring on anyone that you don't know or that you don't trust. That's a really easy way to get yourself banned. And if you do that, then I don't think you're going to have to worry about GDPR at all, because you're not doxing anybody. You're bringing on people that agreed to come on, not random strangers or anything like that. So that would be my general take on the whole thing. But it's something I'm going to have to look into a little more, because obviously if you're asking the question, that means that it's something we should know about. So I have to look at what it is. And obviously it's also not something I have to worry about too much because it's in the UK. But you never know. Yeah. All right. So it's something I'd have to look into, because I just don't know very much about it. You never know if a random person is playing some copyrighted material in the background, too. That's exactly right, BRS. That's why you bring on people that you know, that are ready, and they're meant to be there. So, hey, Slots of Gaming is in the house. What's up, babe? What's the next question? I hope that helps you. I wish I knew more, but I just don't know that much about that particular thing.
Okay. I just want to say hi to Gemma. Hi, Gemma. Thanks for joining.
Gemma, where's Gemma? Gemma's in the house. Hey, Gemma, I want to talk to you for a second. Gemma, Monica pointed out a post that you just did the other day that said you're not live streaming anymore because you're getting too many trolls. Is this true? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. I'm asking for a friend. Is this true? Come on now. Speed it up. Latency isn't that bad. Wow, you're super blurry, babe.
I know.
There's no way Slots and Gaming is going to be able to even see you tonight.
I know. I know. It's very blurry. She did say yes.
Yes. So Gemma, get mods. Why do you not have moderators that you can trust? You don't have to read any of those things. I don't have to look at my chat at all. I have moderators that will eliminate anything that I know is inappropriate. You need to get yourself a set of mods that will delete that crap before anyone, even you, gets to see it, so that you get to respond to the audience who's actually interested in being there. And if you need some good mods, talk to somebody like Chance, or Dr. Rob, or the Logician, or anybody. You can grab some of my mods. Grab some mods, because for those of you who don't know, let me go over here. Monica's sitting there all like, well, I wish, why does he do this on my screen all the time? Well, that's too bad. It's your channel. You rule with an iron fist. I don't accept any crap in my audience. Everybody knows that. They know what to expect. We're going to be civil here. We're going to have fun. That's the whole point. Now, for those of you who don't know, Gemma is autistic, and her channel is about helping people to understand what it's like to live as an autistic person. And she's constantly getting bombarded by trolls who say she's not autistic and all these really negative, awful things. And Gemma, I know you want to be a good person and you want to be a nice person. These trolls that are coming in there, they don't care what you want to be or what you want to see. Get yourself some mods. Tell them if somebody types something in the chat that's inappropriate or negative, they're gone. Period. End of story. And then that's fixed. It solves your problem. Those people shouldn't ruin your ability to reach the people who do want to see you do a live stream and who do enjoy your content. So get mods who will do the job and you won't have any problems. Please, Gemma, please. It's really important. What you're doing is really important, I think, because you're helping people to understand what you go through, and there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that's wrong is we've got lots of trolls in this world who want to make you miserable, and they know it bothers you. So get mods that ban those people before you ever even have to see it, and your problem is solved. I really, really, really hope you do that, Gemma. And if your mods don't want to do the job, then unmod them. Because because you can't live stream without it. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I wonder, did it... There we go. Yes. I think we're on the wrong one. There we go. There we go. Are we getting the right microphone? I don't know if we are or not. I don't think we are. Hold on. No, we're not. I don't know. I'm trying to get the right microphone. And we're not getting it.
There we go. Yes! Now we have it. And really, this is supposed to be one of these.
There we go. There we go. Yeah. Now we got it. Thank you so much. Holy mackerel. It's T1TU5. I just want to send a huge thank you for all the content. Even more so now for supporting Gemma and having her back. Don't quit, Gemma. Hey, Gemma is worth supporting. She's been around since the very beginning. She is so brave for even considering live streaming. And I'm so angry at mods who won't do the job. It's not about what they want or what they think is right. It's about making sure that the stream is something that everyone can enjoy. That's what it's supposed to be. You guys are the best. Thank you. Wow, that's T1, T5, T5. You're so very kind. Titus? It's Titus? Well, thank you, Titus. That's, yeah. My hotkeys apparently aren't working as well as they should. But thank you, Titus. That's amazing. And thank you, Gemma. Please get yourself some Iron Fist mods. You know what? You can borrow Tech Examine anytime you want. Believe me, he has no problem banning somebody who looks at him funny. Boom. Gone. I know, I'm just kidding, but Monica's now giving me feedback in my ears, just so you know. I'm not talking to myself. But the point is, get mods who aren't afraid to make you feel comfortable. Because if you're comfortable, then your audience is going to be comfortable too. So there you go. Thank you so much, Gamma. And thank you so very much, Titus. Wow, that's amazing. You guys are incredible. Incredible. All right. So did we answer the last question? I think we did. Yeah, we did, because I was on the Gamma. I'm so excited that Gamma popped in tonight, because when Monica read that to me, I was so mad. So mad. Because those trolls shouldn't be stopping you from doing what you love and from helping other people to learn. So your mods need to grow some testicular units and you know,
testicular fortitude.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
All right, let's get another question.
All right. All right.
Because I think the Phillies started playing at 7:30. I don't know if the rain delay's over or not.
Let's freaking get some. It's 0-0 in the top of the sixth. These pitchers are
Wow.
killing each other.
All right, well let's do this then.
Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you,
so-
Titus. Oh my gosh, that made my night. Thank you, I appreciate it. All right, babe, go ahead.
Okay, so this one is from Cap MIM, and I want to say hello. They left a really nice comment for me. I say not a question, just a follow up from last week. Wanted to thank you for your advice to keep persevering in installation of plugins, StreamFX in particular. After multiple uninstalling, reinstalling OBS 27 and all plugins, I finally got it to work.
Sweet, awesome, awesome. And you know what? You probably learned a lot along the way. So next time you have to do it, well, it won't be a huge mystery. Sometimes you just got to work yourself through it. Awesome. Glad you persevered, man. All right, what do you got?
Okay, this one is from iAndroid Gaming. It says, I stream every day, and in my area there is an electricity issue. It goes out very often. Is there any way I can start streaming on PC, and when the light goes out, continue the same stream on iPhone, and when the light comes back on, continue on PC?
There's no way that I'm aware of. There was, however, at one point an application that would use your cell phone as a backup internet connection. If it were to happen where your computer connection would fail, the problem with that is that if your computer connection would, the power goes out, your computer goes out. So it doesn't help even if there is a connection.
Yes.
The only solution to that problem is probably some sort of a generator to keep your computer active and running. But sometimes when the power goes out, so do all of the internet connections and routers and everything like that. Yeah, something like a battery backup or something like that. I mean, obviously, if you have a laptop, that's going to stay connected and working. So, yeah, you could theoretically get around this problem just by tethering to your cell phone and streaming on your cell phone connection with a laptop. But, man, yeah, that would be tough. That would be tough. So, I'm not aware of any specific solutions for that other than potentially a generator that keeps the power on, unfortunately. Hopefully you can figure it out, or hopefully your locale will get more stable power sometime soon. That's got to be pretty tough. All right, babe, what you got?
Question from, question from Zach Rhino. Where are a few places I can get background animations that may not cost too much or are free? If you can give a few places, that would be great.
Okay. I just want to respond to Steffi Chain.
Step your game up.
Step your game up, yeah. She says mods can't ban people on YouTube. Step your game up, that is absolutely correct. My mods could not ban someone from YouTube. They can, however, ban someone from the ability to speak in my live stream. So that's what we're talking about. Places to get free backgrounds, is that the question?
Background animations, yeah.
I'm not aware of any locations to get free background animations. But the easiest thing to do is just to record some stuff yourself. You can record pretty much any video that you want, put it into something like DaVinci Resolve and put a Gaussian blur on it to get all kinds of really cool effects that could be just an animated background like the ones you see in my background. Those are just kind of bokeh lights with a little bit of motion and a little bit of Gaussian blur, and they're not that difficult to create. So just be creative with your cell phone. Take some video of some lights or something or else, and put it in DaVinci Resolve. Put a heavy Gaussian blur or any kind of blur on that thing, and bada bang, you got a interesting, different kind of background. So that's what I would do. And the more you do it, or the more times you try to do it, the better you'll get, because you'll understand what makes it look cool and what isn't very good. So give it a shot. All right, babe, what you got?
Okay, this is another question from Zach Rhino.
All
It
right.
says, with Prism coming on board, I worry about issues with having an account like OBS totally free and can be used. Is Prism gathering data like other places? And if so, what are the pros and cons to using it versus giving it up?
Well, this is a really good question. So here's the thing. When Prism asks you to add your account, it doesn't collect any of that data. It basically goes right to YouTube. You give YouTube permission, and then blah, 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 and then it connects to that. But it's not collecting data. It doesn't have your password. It's just getting permission for you to connect to your YouTube account so that it can stream to YouTube. So as far as I'm aware, they are not creating any account in your name or anything like that. It's just simply a permissions for it to connect to your YouTube account so it can stream there. Now, there are other types of accounts where you have to put in your email and all this other sort of stuff, and I'm sure they're collecting data. But Prism, first of all, it's not a Chinese company, just so you know. Prism is actually a South Korean company. I talk to the guys pretty much on a weekly basis. They're helping me out to create more content and do different things. Seem very trustworthy. I've even talked to the guy who developed the mobile app. They're not looking to collect your data. They're looking to create an awesome live streaming tool. But you can never be too safe. So if you're really concerned about it, I know the code is actually available on GitHub if you want to look through the code just to make sure. But as far as I know, they are not collecting any data or anything like that. It's just to make your life easy when connecting to YouTube to send the stream. You don't even really need it. You could just put the stream key in there and it would do that as well. So hopefully that helps you out. Let's get another question.
Okay. We have a very serious question from Phoebe.
Hello, Phoebe.
She says, I love the everything bagel. Is there any way that you can keep the seeds out of your keyboard?
Oh, well, they make these plastic thingies. I mean, you ever go to your grandma's house way back in the day, and grandma had a couch that was already 60 years old, but it had this big plastic cover on it. So you know that they put that cover on it the day after they bought it. So when you pulled the cover off, even 60 years later, that couch looked like they just bought it yesterday, except for that it was 60 years out of date. Yeah. Well, keyboards are kind of like that. You could get a cover for your keyboard and stuff. I don't personally care for it. So what I do is I use something like this right here. It's little brushies. You could brush the dust and dirt and seeds out of your keyboard. Those seeds can be dangerous if you have the wrong keyboard, like a Mac keyboard, though. It doesn't seem like it takes much to destroy those things, but then it has the soft bristles too on the other side. So, yeah. But I don't have any direct knowledge of how to do that other than covering it with plastic, which kind of ruins the keyboarding experience, unfortunately. But you know what? Your grandma loved it on her couch, so you never know. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. All right.
Okay. Ready for the next one?
I think so.
I think so. Okay. This next one is from, I don't know if this is Lemon James or Lemon James. What other video chat besides OBS that uses NDI can I use in OBS?
Video chat that uses NDI. I'm not aware of any video chat that uses NDI, unfortunately.
Okay, does
Wish
that
I
mean
could
we-
help, but nothing that I know of chat-wise uses NDI. So there you go.
Okay. Okay. Another question from Zach Rhino
Hello,
saying,
Zach.
how do you do that anime thing? You do it when one of the watchers donates to you.
So I'm assuming that he's talking about this. Cool. I've done a couple of videos on this software. Dr. Rob will drop a link to the video right there, SnapCam, and that will tell you exactly how to do it. Let's get another one.
Okay, another question from Zach Rhino, wanting to know, how will OBS 28 be better than before?
Well, this is this is one of those questions. OBS 28 is basically the reason why people are having so many problems with OBS 28 is because they were using an old architecture for a very, very, very long time. And inevitably, those old architectures get sunsetted. And so they start to have problems with compatibility because certain things don't work because their software architecture is too old. So they bit the bullet on OBS 28 and updated all of their software architecture, which, as we know, totally broke all the plugins. So that means that all the people that made the plugins have to go and recreate those plugins for the new OS. But it was inevitable. It had to happen. It is not OBS's fault for updating their their code for the next 10 years. It was one of those things. It will get better. All the bugs and all the problems that people are having will get fixed. It was inevitable. You got to kind of give the guys a break because this is something that just had to happen. They had to go from a 32-bit operating system to a 64-bit code so that they can move forward and add the kind of features that we want in the future. As far as big features in this release, I don't think there really are any big features that you have to have. Some gamers really love the HDR feature. That's great for them. But other than that, there's no big features in OBS 28 that I think you have to have. But they had to make the code transition in order for them to bring us those big features that we want. So hopefully that explains to you kind of the whole gist behind why it's a little problematic. And it will get better. I promise you it will get better. And by the way, happy birthday, Gemma. Happy birthday. Let's get another question.
For sure. Happy birthday, Gemma. Gemma, not Gemma.
It's Gemma.
But we just have to let him go. Okay, next question is from Mega Squad Trevor. He says, hey, Michael, will Ginger Audio be coming to Windows at all?
Probably not. I do not believe that Ginger Audio is set to come to Windows at all, but I can always text them or message them and ask them. But as far as I'm aware, no. It's a Mac-only thing. Although they do make some plugins that will work on Windows. But yeah, as far as the full software, not that I'm aware of. All right.
Okay. This one is from Robbie Strike. He says, when I'm running my church's live stream, the audio looks like it is in the yellow, dipping in the red. But the people watching at home still say that the audio is low compared to other YouTube videos. I'm using a compressor, but still having this problem.
So chances are you're picking up a lot of background noise, but not necessarily a lot of the main audio. So what you might want to do is check to make sure, check your mic locations. Check to make sure that they're putting the lapel mics where they're supposed to be, or you have the mic in front of them where it's supposed to be. That sort of stuff. It sounds like whatever it is picking up a lot of background noise, which is giving you a lot of, the level, and then the actual noise over top of that, which would be the voice, is more difficult to hear because of all the background noise. And the only way to really resolve that is to get the microphones as close to the individuals who are speaking as possible. And I think when you do that, you might solve your problem. So try something like a lapel mic, something like this setup right here, and you can connect these wirelessly and that sort of stuff. I have a wireless setup that will do something like that. They're not super mega expensive. You can get a wireless lapel mic setup for relatively inexpensive, and for a church, it's an expense anyways. So you want to get those microphones as close up as you possibly can, and I think it'll solve your background noise problem, which is probably creating the situation for those folks that are having trouble hearing it. So there you go.
There you go.
What you got?
Oh, sorry. I have nothing. That was the last question.
That was the last question.
That was the
How
last.
could that be the last question? What are
Because
you
we have
talking about? That's the last question.
We have to come to the end of the question sometime.
Well, who shut the form down?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you shut the form down, woman?
'Twas not I.
'Twas not you. Well, we're gonna see about that.
Oh,
Let's
it's still
see.
gonna be
Who
me.
shut the form down? We have to know
Who closed the form down?
who did it. Who
We
shut
have
the
to
form
know.
down?
It was probably
Who
Santa
closed the
Claus.
form down? Who closed the form down?
Who was it? We're gonna find out
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
And I'm behind on video, so I have no idea who it is.
Oh no! Onion! I didn't even see him here tonight. Is he hiding out back there closing the form down? How could he do this to us?
He snuck in just to close the form down. That must be it.
I guess so. I guess so.
I know
It's just
you're
not
upset.
right. I
I
just
know
come in
you're
here and I want to ask questions all night long, and then somebody doesn't shut the farm down.
Oh, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. This was a great night.
Yes, it was a great night.
All right, babe. Well, we're
Yes.
going to head out. So do you have any final words?
Okay, my final words. My final words. Hey guys, thanks for joining us again for another great evening. Hopefully we were able to answer all your questions and it actually made sense because, I just ask the questions, he answers them. So if you guys want to come back, we will be back next Wednesday night at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys can come back. The form will be open. You can ask all your questions, get them in there, and Michael will answer to the best of his ability next week. So come on back. We will see you. We'll have more.
Yes, I will
popcorn.
probably not be any dumber next week than I am tonight. Thank you, honey, for your help. And thank you, Michael, for moderating and all that good stuff. All right. This was an amazing night. I had so much fun. The questions tonight ran the gamut. We got lots of Prism questions, which was super fun. I really enjoyed it. I want to thank you guys so much for, well, everything you do. You make this possible. And hopefully I get to come on here every week and entertain you just a little bit, answer your questions. I love to see so many awesome returning faces in the chat, hanging out, helping all the newer folks that come in and anyone that I can't get to or I don't know. You guys are always there to fill in the gaps and help these folks out, and I really do appreciate it. Big thanks to Dr. Rob for being the other lone mod tonight. It is a hard job, and I really appreciate it. You're doing yeoman's work, so thank you so much. Thank you. And as always, the world is a scary, screwed up, messed up place, and we can complain about it all day long, but let's face it, that's not going to fix anything. And telling people they're wrong is never going to fix anything, and pointing fingers and being angry is never going to fix anything. So kill them with kindness. Be the good person. Be the nice person. Do something nice for someone else. And, just listen to each other, because you'd be shocked at how much you actually agree with the person across the table that you thought was the enemy. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out, watching this with me. I love you, and I will see you again next week if I can find my stuff. Today's video is sponsored by Envato Placeit. Placeit is a marketplace for all kinds of assets that can help you with your YouTube channel. Things like art and live streaming and video assets. You can create amazing face cams and live streaming overlays really easily. There are hundreds of templates, and each face cam and overlay can be modified with different designs, colors, text, and text fonts. The process is super easy, and you can even incorporate your own logo, or if you're like me, your own Placeit design logo. And you can put it right in your design. This gives you an infinite number of overlays and face cam possibilities for your live streams. And they're so easy to create, you can use a different one every time you live stream if you wanted to. So please, click the link in the description and check out Envato Placeit for yourself. Big thanks to the sponsors that support this channel. You can find their links down below in the description under the heading sponsors. I couldn't possibly do this without them or you, so thanks. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better live streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Fire Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.